We live?
We're here.
We're doing it?
We're doing it.
We're doing it. Fiesta watch, everybody. Hello and welcome. My name is Noah. This is Wyatt. You already know. You already know what's going on. Season 2, Episode 7. I'll pretend. I think we're going to have 3 consecutive Season 2, Episode 7s. I'm not going to lie. I lost count already. But, yeah, sure. Let's jump right into it. This is the week of... Right now it is February 28th. Almost about to roll into March. And not much time left across the 4 major regions. Regular seasons are coming to a close. Mm-hmm. Let's start with Korea, which has been the most interesting league for a while now.
Yeah.
Primarily because there's parity, right? And when I say there's parity, I mean there's like random shit. Like last Thursday, the 22nd of February, Barbecue Oliver's BBQ took down King Zone Dragon X. Now, before we get into discussion, we do have to say that add the caveat that Khan played game 1 or King Zone won, maybe.
I believe so.
Or they lost. Did they lose or win? Game 1.
It's been so long ago.
I can't remember. It literally the longest match ago it could have been to not make it onto this show. No, Barbecue won that match. Yeah, Barbecue won because they had Skarner.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he didn't. Nobody knows how to play around Skarner unless banning him, unless Red Side bans him. But Khan started hyperventilating after game 1, and so they had to sub. So King Zone had to sub in Rascal, their backup top laner.
Oh, geez, I didn't even know that. Did you do that? I wasn't awake for that one, right?
I
did you do that one?
No, but I read about it. I think.
Okay, I wonder who did that one because I definitely don't remember that. Must have been James.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, James, for shout out to James. But yeah. So King Zone going down throws a monkey wrench in everything, right?
Yeah.
And then let's continue on. SKT took down Rocks in a match we labeled interesting. King Zone managed to beat Afrika. They lost to BBQ, but they beat Afrika.
Yeah, which like that's the stuff that keeps happening in this split, where like a team will lose to like a pretty shitty team and then beat an even harder team, and we're just like, guys, come on.
Well,
like,
I feel like those are just trap games, you know? Like,
yeah,
shit, we got Afrika later this week. We got to prepare. We don't really need to focus that much on Barbecue. We'll stomp them, and then Barbecue brings their A game.
Yeah, well, especially since King Zone was on like a 14-0 win streak too, so they were just
they did not drop maps before this.
Yeah, so they were just kind of like, whatever, we don't need to pay attention to this, and then BBQ.
Case in point, later that week, Barbecue lost to MV fucking P. So
and not only did they lose, MVP got a perfect game. Like MVP, it was the first perfect game of the LCK Spring Split this year. MVP
from the worst team in the fucking league.
Like King Zone, we just said, was on a 14-0 win streak, and they didn't even get a perfect game. And MVP somehow gets the first perfect game.
Well, that's what happens when teams have only prepare for 1 out of 2 matches they play a week. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Which makes me think, Wyatt. Do we like the best of 3, playing 2 best of 3s a week for these teams?
I mean, I guess like
because we get crazy shit like this happening.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, we get dumb shit like this happening. You know?
Yeah.
And like, what staff can realistically prepare for a best of 3 for 2 separate best of 3s against 2 different teams? Like. With adequate preparation for 2 completely different rosters who have multiple subs you have to take into account. It's a lot of work on these Korean teams. Exactly. And like this is how they've been doing it forever. You know, these dumb upsets are a part of what makes the LCK so special.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's the most effective thing for players, because I think it might contribute to increased burnout. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, because you're playing a lot of games, especially with, you got a team like King Zone, who's easily, winning these games. Like, if you look at, like, King Zone has only played 24 games across the entire split. But then you've got teams like, the mid-tier teams that have played 28, 29 games. And, like, even KT Waltzer has played 27 games, and they're, like, 8-3. So it's just, like, it's a lot of games. And I think we've seen, both the EU and the NA, they tried the whole best of 3. I mean, EU even tried the best of 2, which was just very odd.
Which nobody enjoyed.
Yeah, that it was like, nobody okay, we won in one split, but we don't get to see who wins. So like we just kind of get a tie. So it's super weird.
Creates a six team pile in the middle.
Yeah, it's
split, just like
that was such an EU thing to do.
Yeah.
But they did it for best of threes for a split or two splits, and they are now back to best of ones.
Right.
And I think like even though there's argument of like, okay, well, if you do best of threes, you're preparing yourself for the playoffs and like which is true.
Makes your players better, having to play more games, they get more experience, more exposure, that kind of stuff.
But like you said, I think there's just the other side of you play more games, but you also end up getting burnt out because you look at NA, you're playing 2 games a week versus possibly playing 6 games a week in the LCK.
Not only that, but like the difference between the regions, like it's not like NA is the most hyper competitive in terms of like internal team environments.
Yeah.
Maybe a team like FlyQuest that has subs that it looks to actively use. And that's it. Like if you're on Echo Fox, you're not worried about job security. Whereas even if you're on a top tier Korean team, you have to maintain your edge. Otherwise, some of these up and comers who teams keep signing will come up and nab you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that Faker has to watch out because Pyrian's coming for him.
Yeah.
But like, but it's a thing that you have to consider.
No, yeah, exactly. Well,
it's like football. It's the next guy up. That could be a realistic thing.
Well, especially because if you look at these rosters in the LCK, like even like with SKT, even if you look back before they were having a lot of problems, it wasn't unheard of for them to just be like, okay, Blank, you're going to do this game. Peanut, you'll do this one.
Right.
And
Wolf, if we need you, Although I think Wolf is sticking to support more often than not nowadays, correct?
He's only did the one little game where he was like, all right, we're gonna do this this crazy. I'm gonna play in the jungle and make things all fancy. But like just these rosters are bigger. So like you said, next man up, like they have to make sure that they continue to play at the highest level so that they don't get benched. It just still feels like you said. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever change because like you said, like LCKs, they've been doing this for years now, and especially because it's not necessarily. I don't think that them playing best of threes every game. That's not what makes Korea a better region. Like they're a better region.
It doesn't. It helps among other things, but I think it's the culmination of a bunch of those factors.
Yeah, I mean that is a factor. Yeah, it's a factor, but there's also practice, just the talent pool and just the overall, I think, dedication to the game. Not that other regions aren't dedicated, but we've seen like Koreans are just very dedicated.
They are grind lords.
Yeah.
In their natural habitat, they're fucking grinders.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of these matchups that have happened earlier this week, and then we'll get into some predictions for later. Afrika took down KSV. Poor KSV, my boys, 6-5 right now. Not looking too hot. Well, Afrika is 7-4, sitting pretty nice coming into the end of the season. Afrika, I think, is all but secured a playoff spot at this point. They have to go on a massive choke rampage, or like
I mean, because there's only there's only 3 weeks left, so they've only got like 7 games. So like unless they lose all 7 games, which not likely. They should be pretty set.
You know what? Hats off to Afrika. Last year they barely made it into playoffs, but they made it, and then they made it. They started to make this. They kind of made a splash, and this is when they had Marin, and then they went from Marin, who's a known quantity in professional League of Legends, to a new guy. And a lot of people I think might have countered Afrika out by that virtue, but like Afrika has gotten better, if anything.
Yeah, they look pretty strong.
More dynamic. Kramer has stepped up, I think, in a big way for this team. I enjoy what I'm seeing out of them. Good shit. KT Rolster lost to the Rocks Tigers. Let's go.
The funny part about this one was like we all know about this, but then I that morning I looked the ESPN esports. They did their power rankings and they were just like, all right, KT can do it, and they even mentioned they were like, just when you put your faith in KT, and then like I wake up and see literally immediately. KT was just like, we're fine. Go ahead, Rocks. Take the series.
Dude, take this W, Rocks. Let's go.
Especially because KT had been on a really, they were 8-2 going into that series.
They were playing well as hell.
Yeah, and then they KT things up
Tigers, let's go. Lava's been playing like a monster.
He has been, yeah. He's been popping off ridiculously.
Let's go. Remember when they were? Who was the other guy they were trialing in mid? Because I remember Rocks used to play 2 mid laners, and they were like back and forth.
Kuzan,
yeah. So do you think this gives Lava the definitive starting god if he hasn't already gotten it?
I think so. Like, I mean, not only this series, but he has consistently been showing up pretty well. And like he just straight up dominates. It's not even close usually when he
is it like solo lane domination or just the team in general look better when he's on?
I mean, the team in general does look better, but he in particular, especially when he gets on, people just need to stop letting him do that.
You cut out there on what?
On Zoe.
Yeah.
When he picks up Zoe,
I think the Zoe thing is that problem's gonna resolve itself with the.
No, I know that'll go away. But even outside of that, like he's a big part of it. But like you said, the team as a whole seems to be playing very well right now. And they're pushing themselves towards the playoff spot. Like they're tied with KSV. KSV, defending world champions may not even make the playoffs if they continue to lose these games like that.
Yeah, but hey, listen, you remember the old SKT storyline? Midway through the season, they just start choking. People are like, "Oh, SKT sucks now," and then they go on a rampage and they kill everyone.
It's very true.
I think it's not an SKT storyline. I think it's just the curse of whoever wins Worlds last. So if KSV makes it to playoffs in a low seed and then reapers their way all the way up through the bracket, don't say I didn't warn you.
It's very true.
For true. Green Wings, Jin Air. Remember when we were popping off about them? They're 4-7 now. What the fuck happened?
Especially like I wrote about this in the recap this morning. Like Jin Air last week they beat Afrika 2-0. I think both games were like 30, 32 minutes.
Like decisive wins in this meta.
Yeah, and then this series it was a 111-minute 2-0. Like it was a 51-minute game 1 and then a 60-minute game 2.
Those sound like those are Jin Air win condition games.
Exactly. Like it was the Jin Air of old, except for they just were terrible.
And then they lost to Barbecue. Let's go Barbecue! I love BBQ.
BBQ looks really good.
They like randomly show up. They are a truly wild card team.
They really are.
Mm-hmm. Like count them out. Everybody does.
Yeah.
But you might be the team they pop off on. So like you have to count at the same time.
And like right now they're only 2 games out of the playoffs. Like that's the crazy part. Like between
they're both
I mean they're both the same. Like even between the 4th seed and the 8th seed, like there's literally only 2 games separating those 5 teams.
All right, we'll get into it a little bit more. Finally, we got Kingzone Dragon X reclaiming some dominance, taking out MVP, or MVP, rip MVP. Not the worst team in the league. Got that going for them. But Kongdu has not yet played their 11th game, so depending on how Kongdu does, either MVP is tied for last in terms of just pure record, not necessarily head-to-head, or Kongdu has sole possession of 10th, and then MVP would have sole possession of 9th. Man, I had a lot of high hopes for MVP. I was really liking things I saw out of them. I love Max. Last season, Max was so fun to watch. He just did like stupid shit, and he would carry from the support. Who was it? Was it Afrika?
They lost to KT.
No, but who they beat?
Afrika. Yeah, it was Afrika. Yeah, it was MVP Afrika.
I'm thinking of Afrika. Okay, so they took out Afrika, and then Afrika made it to Gauntlet, and then Afrika started to do well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, my brain stopped working, but now you got it back on track. Thank you, Wyatt. Let's make some predictions for this week. I know it's hard because like we're probably gonna be wrong, but
probably.
Might as well. Let's give it as I like to say the old college try. First up, Afrika versus SK Telecom tomorrow on Thursday. Who you got?
I gotta go with SKT.
Okay.
They have been playing pretty strong. They've now won 4 straight games. A couple of their series, or 4 straight series rather. A couple of them have been pretty shaky. Like the 2-1 against Kongdu and a 2-1 against BBQ are not necessarily what you want. But considering how low SKT had fallen earlier in the season, I think that a win is a win for them at this point. And not only that, but they're looking to finally get some consistency in some of their other lanes except for Faker. Because Faker's always
I said that was going to happen eventually.
Yeah. And Blossom has been very good for this team in the jungle. Blank wasn't doing anything, and Blossom has played the last couple.
Blank forever sub. Feels bad.
Yeah, exactly. He's never gonna hold down that start
let's be real. Like every team needs a Manu Ginobili, and I don't want to say that blank is necessarily as good as Manu Ginobili in that comparison. I just mean they both have weird looking noses. But let's move on.
Well, I mean, last split, Blank was like he had like a 17-0.
Yeah, he was popping off.
So like he was kind of the Manu.
And then he flopped, and he's not
exactly
literally perfect.
Now he's like old ass, rickety, bad knee Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili will have a contract until he's 50. Let's be fucking real.
He really will. As long as Popovich is on that team, he'll just keep signing him. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, like if he just gets good at flopping, like is that I don't care. Wait,
let's write
this is why RotoWire has other people do the basketball podcast.
Exactly.
Oh my lord! All right, I think Afrika will win. A little bit different. I think while SKT's lanes have been doing well, I think Kramer is enough of a presence in lane to kind of neutralize Bang, right? And if you look at how Afrika are winning games, they are concentrating on side lane pressure, right? They're shutting down these side lanes, not necessarily shutting down mid lane, because Kuro isn't exactly the I'm gonna 1v9 this game kind of carry. He's more like a I almost said a Huhi, but like their CLG's garbage right now. But he plays that very team oriented style, right? Like I think Kuro is a great secondary carry for this team.
Yeah, I agree.
And they can flex their power between top and bot lane. And I think SKT is going to have a big test there, and I don't think they're going to pass it. I'm predicting a close series win for Afrika. But, I could see it going either way. You don't know. It's LCK. You can realistically see anything.
Yeah. LCK is very wacky.
I say that, and then I look at Kongdu Monster, who play on the next game on Thursday against KT, and then the next game on Saturday they play against Kingzone Dragon X. I don't think Kongdu would win either game, thus I'm going to move on unless Wyatt has anything else to say.
Nah, Kongdu is Kongdu.
Kongdu more like Gondu, am I right?
Hey.
I just got fined. Word. All right. Rocks Tigers versus Barbecue Olivers. Barbecue's been kind of streaky as of late. Barbecue won their earlier series against Jin Air. Do they fulfill the 1-1 prophecy and drop this series? What do you think?
I think so.
I think Rocks wins as well.
Yeah, I think Rocks wins. Like it might be a 2-1 because like that's just kind of how these teams do it.
Yeah.
Especially when they play against each other. They like when these mid-tier teams play against each other, like it's almost always just kind of shaky and confusing. But
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think Rock should be able to pretty easily win though, because Rock's has been playing pretty good.
I'm gonna agree. And then the last series we really need to talk about because I'm pretty sure KSV is gonna beat MVP. If they don't, I'm gonna cry. SK Telecom on Sunday kicks off Sunday's broadcast against Jin Air Green Wings. I think we're both confident in saying SKT will win, but I feel like this is the match that might have the sleep potential, Like this has all the markings of a trap game.
It really does, yeah.
Except that the more difficult game for SKT happened first instead of second, right? Because usually in these trap game scenarios, the easy game happens first, and then they drop that because they've been trapping all week for, a tough game. So, would you be surprised if Jin Air won?
I don't know. I wouldn't say I would be surprised because Jin Air does have that kind of upset potential these days. Yeah. If they like 2-0, then I'd be surprised. But if they win a fairly like narrow 2-1, I wouldn't be totally surprised. But I do think that SKT, like this is kind of a game, especially getting down to the nitty gritty of the season. Not to mention that directly after this game, it's getting a little ahead. But going into the following week, we won't talk. We'll talk after this game happens. But week 7 opens up with SKT and Kingzone Dragon X, which is like one of the pretty bigger matchups that we have left this season. So
that's
like
that's quick turnaround.
Yeah. So SKT needs to get. I think they need to 2-0 this week just to get, because if they 2-0, they'll put themselves at 7-5, and then they'll be in a pretty good spot going into those last couple weeks.
And then next week they also have to play. They play Kingzone and KT. So
KT.
It gives them some space to drop 2 games in a row.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they need to 2-0 here.
All right, I agree. All right, cool. LCK done. That's a wrap. It's not a sandwich, Wyatt. It's a rat.
Good to know.
Somewhere. I'll remember where later. Let's move on to talking about the EU LCS. Vitality are falling apart.
Vitality had lost.
That thing that we said is going to happen at some point, I think.
Yeah.
And then we were like, never mind, we're wrong. And then it started happening. So we should have held on to our pessimistic faith.
Yeah, like they've lost 4 games in a row now. And they haven't really been close either. Like they've been getting handled pretty well. Like these teams are kind of rolling over them.
Let's unnecessarily throw somebody on the hot seat, Wyatt. Who's it for you on this Vitality team?
I think
if you need time, I can go first.
No, I think it's the bot lane.
Okay.
Because Jizuke, he's a rookie. Like he can't he popped off and kind of led them to those first few wins, but like you can't really expect him to do that all the time.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, so like you can't put all your eggs there. But it just feels like the bot lane just like mini true packs.
Mini true packs.
Okay, there you go.
Sure.
Like him and Jack Troll, like I just feel like they don't ever really have a very good command over the bottom lane. Okay. And it just kind of snowballs from there. They just it just never feels like they're able to completely kind of win their lane or really do much of anything, and it just kind of affects the rest of the map.
I feel you. I feel like I'm tempted to give that bot lane a pass because I think Mini Truebax is also a rookie, if I'm not mistaken, or like he's new to the EU LCS at this level. I've seen a lot of people throwing shade at Gilius, and it's fair because not just because of his gameplay, but also like his personality. It's like picking on a double lift who's never won anything. Except like Challenger. No, he even lost Challenger promotion series in NNA. Vitality have no early game pressure anywhere, right? And in the current meta, apart from top lane, it's really hard to get a definitive lead in lane.
Yeah.
And a lot of it relies on your jungler. And right now, I don't see Gilius doing much of anything in early game. I don't know if that's a Gilius problem or I don't know if that's a Vitality problem because the jungle role is really related, is very intrinsically related to like how the rest of the team is doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So either Gilius or the team. But overall, like Vitality have no more lethal edge. And so I'm going to blame the coaching staff. That's my hot seat pick.
Okay.
I just wanted to give a shout out to people hitting on Gilius, but like, maybe it's not his fault. Especially if this team has no direction, right?
Yeah.
And you start to look at their earlier wins. Most of that happened because Jizuke was just really strong as like either Ryze or Zoe or somebody, and then he would just kill anybody who stopped him from split pushing.
Yeah.
You can't do that all the time. It's literally the reckless thing, except Jizuke is a mid laner and not an AD carry, so he can't exactly hard carry team fights in late game either. Like you have to pop the hell off as a mid laner to like super hard carry against some of the tanks we have in the meta right now. So I think I blame Vitality's coaching staff for not preparing them for new patches, not building a sense of team identity outside of Jizuke will probably carry, that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, UOL 2-0 week. The magic is the magic back, kind of.
They weren't playing like the best teams. They took wins over Rocket and Splice. Like Splice, I mean, give them credit for the Splice win.
They are still the worst team.
They're still the worst team, but like they're 3-1 in the last 2 weeks. So they're looking pretty good, and they've got games against H2K and Schalke coming up. So those
potentially winnable.
Yeah, those are teams that are in their wheelhouse. So
in the amongst the dumpster fire, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, let's shift on to start talking about happier shit. Fnatic took down G2 Esports, completed the 2-0 week. Fnatic is sitting on top of the EU LCS. I'm tempted to make a joke and be like, haven't we seen this before? And then Fnatic gets rolled. How do you feel about this Fnatic going forward?
They look strong. Like, we talked about it last week. And, you were pretty high on G2, saying they were the best team, and I just
G2 is a good drug, dude. I don't know what you.
No, I mean it's true, but like just what I've seen from this Fnatic squad, this split, I've just been very impressed. Because like, yeah, we've seen Fnatic do this before, but it just feels like before it was just reckless or bust. Like they just strapped their rocket to his back, and they were like, okay, you need to win us the game or we're gonna lose. Whereas now they're playing a pretty overall game. Like Reckless obviously still has his moments, but like Caps is playing out of his mind. Like in that G2 game, he both games I think this past week he popped off pretty hard. So it just feels like they're from top to bottom. They feel a lot stronger than they have in splits past. Yep. So it just it feels good to kind of strap my rocket to
Fnatic.
Fnatic's back.
It's a different feeling though, Yeah. Like Fnatic, there's always that air of caution and like almost like here's a bad analogy. Fnatic is an indica while G2 is a sativa. I love watching G2 games, man. Either they pop off or they fucking do nothing. It's great. It's like it's emotionally rolling the dice every time. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, any other matches from last week before we move on? Am I wrong though, Wyatt? Am I wrong?
No, that's perfect. That was spot on.
Bad analogies. That's why I'm here. That's why you tune in.
You are the king of analogies. I'll give you that.
Hell
I'll
yeah.
Give you that.
Hell yeah. I'm the fanatic of analogies. I'm good, but you roll your eyes every time. You're like, all right, whatever.
It's like whatever. He does this.
All right, this fucking guy. And then if nobody laughs, I pull a Reckless and I cry on stage for 15 minutes until the crowd starts clapping for me. God damn it! I can't wait for him to pull that shit again at Worlds because Fnatic's going. Like,
yeah, of course.
If he does it again, I'm so fucking done with that team. Not that the team. It's just that human. Did you watch Did you see I Will Dominate's video? Cut the Western shit about Reckless.
I didn't know.
Oh my god, it's amazing. I'll have to link it to you later.
For sure, yeah.
But it was basically like showing Reckless. It was just if you watch footage of Reckless crying after the loss, and then he's like, Reckless is like, and Dom was making the point. It's like this guy's the emotional leader of Fnatic, and look at him, he's so distraught. What will his team console him? And then it cuts to Soaz looking at him like this guy again, and he's like. His body language was him rolling his eyes as hard as he could without actually rolling his eyes, and then just like walking away. But it's Soaz, so like he's French, who knows? Yeah. Anyways, all right, that was a fun interlude. I try my best to not talk about actual League of Legends for as long as possible, but we're at that point where we have to talk about League of Legends. So let's do our jobs. You want to move on to predictions, or are there any matchups in?
I don't think so. I think we kind of covered the big ones. So yeah.
All right, fucking matchups. Let's go. Roccat versus Giants. I don't care, to be quite honest with you. But like,
this feels like it feels like a nothing match.
This is what he's about right here.
Yeah.
Not the GT versus Fnatic. Like, who's going to be the European team at this Worlds? Like this middle of the pack shit. This is what I live for. What a way to start. You know how, like, if you've ever been to a wrestling show, they have a good, like, fun match to start to pop the crowd and get
all day
long? Why are you starting with this shit? What the fuck?
Seriously.
It's like, who booked this shit?
Why is, the booking of the EU LCS is pretty bad. Honestly, that's the case with
fucking Road Dogg, man. He's booking EU and SmackDown. He's just driving both shows into the ground.
Oh, God. They're booking this like Elimination Chamber.
Oh god, you know what the worst part was? I was talking with Joe about it. I was more interested in talking with Joe about the show we were watching than watching the show.
I started watching it and then oh god, like after the women's match,
everybody on Earth knew what was gonna happen. Joe thought I was like, "Nah, it's Finn, dude. I'm telling you, like Roman's in Scaratan." I'm like, "Okay, dude," and then it didn't happen. I'm like, "Yup."
Yeah.
The big dogs.
Anybody can book the WWE in their sleep these days.
I can do it. I'd be so good. Oh my god, I'd be so good at it. Except I wouldn't be, because like I'm literally like in my current state, I'm probably as good, if not a little bit worse, for lack of experience. Anyways, Rocket versus Giants. This is how we feel about this matchup. By the way, we talk about three completely separate topics entirely.
Yeah.
Giants.
Yeah, probably. They're
Fucking
higher
A.
on the standings.
Next up is H2K versus Unicorns. Actually, I feel like this one might be a little bit more interesting.
Honestly, I think that it's the problem here is just more of the fact that like these EU teams are just incredibly mediocre this split. There's like
It's
two really
all-
good
it's
teams
an A.
and then everyone
It's
else.
literally an A. It's the same shit. It's like there's everybody, and then there's the two teams that are gonna do stuff.
At least in NA, like Golden Guardian seems to pull one out of their ass every.
That's called improvement. I think. Wyatt,
Yep,
you
that's true.
hater. You hater. All right.
Well, I hate the Warriors, so I just hate the Golden Guardians by default.
I feel you. I also hate the Warriors because I don't even have a good excuse. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
No, I do because every time you play them, who's that white guy on their team? The European. The dirty player, the one who just
Zaza,
Fuck that guy,
whatever,
dude.
who was
Fuck that
trying to kill everybody and
every time he plays against the Pelicans, I swear to Christ, at some point he tries to chop block Anthony Davis, and I'm just like, dude, he's fucking held together with like twins.
He did that to Russell Westbrook last night, or
Yep.
2 days ago. He like literally fell on top of him for no reason.
Yeah, and it's just like, speaking of the Pelicans, 5th seed, let's go. Imagine if we had Boogie, man, we'd actually be contenders for stuff.
That's fair. That's true.
Holy shit! Like AD dropped 50 last night, and it was like
AD's so good.
AD's and now that AD's like, it's like what? It's literally Bjergsen and double lift, but double lift left. And so after a shaky start, Bjergsen realizes, oh shit, I have to carry this team myself, and I'm gonna pop off now. And we'll get to NA later, but like, tell me I'm wrong.
No,
tell me I'm
that's
wrong.
fair. Also, you can really tell that we care a lot about the EU because this is twice now in the last 2 predictions that we talked about a completely different sport. Okay, let's look at a couple matches that actually.
Wait, we're out of sports. I think we're safe. Yeah, I'm predicting Unicorns. What about you?
Yeah, I think Unicorns can pull it off.
Cool. GT will beat Splice. Yep.
Yeah.
Schalke versus Vitality. I think Schalke's gonna win because
I think so.
Vitality might be like the shadow worst team in the league right now.
Yeah, I think Vitality, they're only up there at the top by virtue of how good they were at the start. But the last 2.5 weeks, they've been playing absolutely terrible.
Vitality or Dan from LPL last play? Do you remember Dan?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Dan popped off in the first intergroup round robin.
Yeah.
And 5-1 or something, and then everybody's like, "Whoa, this team is so aggressive. They are the future." And then they played cross conference, and they got shit on.
And then they fell off the face of the earth.
And then they got shit on every game. And then this season, I think they're Billy now. It's like, okay, instead of being hyper aggro and trying to rush down Baron at 20 minutes, we're gonna be hyper aggro and rush down Baron 21 minutes. And then teams are just like, okay.
You're like, all right, fun.
I miss China. It's definitely Stockholm syndrome, but I miss watching the LPL. But yeah, I think Schalke will win.
Yeah, Schalke's been looking pretty decent, and I think yeah.
Misfits versus Fnatic. This is gonna be a good one.
This is actually probably, looking at the rest of the matchups, this probably looks like the best matchup of the week.
Jesus Christ, Europe, come on. Although this is the road to WrestleMania, so nobody's watching anyways. You feel?
Exactly. Yeah. Who cares?
The road to the EU LCS WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I think Misfits will probably put up a fight, but Fnatic is playing really good right now.
100%,
Fnatic is they're on a 7-game win streak, and I don't really think if they can get past G2, Misfits probably isn't the team that's going to get there. I think it'll be a good game.
I think Misfits have upside potential for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves with the Fnatic love train, but I do agree. I think Fnatic's current performance has been too good. I also just realized I've been looking at my microphone and talking at it rather than the camera. So sorry if I'm just wildly gesticulating. I'm pretending it's you, but Wyatt's on the right of my screen and my mic's right. Anyways, I'm just making excuses at this point. Rocket versus Splice. Neither of these teams exactly inspire confidence in me. Yeah. If a gun was to my head, I would say Splice, but I'm not married to the idea.
Yeah, I would say Splice as well. Splice, they lost to Unicorns, but on the whole, Splice seems like the stronger team. Rocket are pretty inconsistent at this point, so you don't really want to hitch your horse to that wagon. But
it's
like you said, it's
Rocket.
these matchups are just so finicky, and it's not even like in the case of LPL or LCK, where we're like, hey, there's parity. Like you never know what's going to happen. Like that's the good kind of parity. These games, it's the bad kind of just like everyone is kind of on the same level of mediocrity, and you're just like, I don't know who's going to win.
Yeah. Yep. Next matchup: Unicorns of Love versus FC Schalke 04. Schalke. Shout out to Ethan because I know how to pronounce that word, and he gets triggered every time somebody doesn't do it correctly.
Oh, you mean if I say Schalke?
Schalke?
Does that trigger you, Ethan? I know you're watching.
Shout out to Ethan.
Schalke.
So you think Schalke's gonna win?
I think so.
I'm gonna be a contrarian. I'm gonna say Unicorn.
Okay.
Not necessarily just because I want to be contrarian, but because I think Unicorns have had a pretty decent form, and they went 2-0 last week. I see, and Schalke doesn't inspire enough confidence in me to say that they will definitively win this matchup.
Yeah.
Bang. Moving on. Yeah. You're just gonna be like, all right, I'll switch side. I thought you were ideologically invested in FC Schalke 04.
No.
All right, H2K versus Misfits. I think Misfits has the nod.
Yeah.
This does have all the makings of a trap game, though.
It does. I feel like there's a lot of trap games going around these days.
That's the end of the series. End of the year is just full of traps.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost at the end of the split. Like, this shit is flowing by like crazy.
Hell yeah, I'm glad. I love playoff time. I hate regular season. I love playoff time, man. Fnatic should beat Vitality. And then G2 should beat Giants.
Yeah. Pretty cut and dry.
Hey, let's move on to NA before we
fall
start talking about some other shit. Yeah.
Before we veer off track once again.
Let's be real. Last year, NA was definitely more exciting to watch than EU.
It was.
This year, I could not give a fuck about NA. I enjoy watching EU games. I think they understand the meta and they understand how to apply tempo well. When I watch NA games, I'm like, Echo Fox is shitting on people. Cloud9 is shitting on people. What is everybody else doing?
Although Cloud9 lost to my boys this week, so you can't really say that they're shitting on everybody.
100 Thieves destroyed Cloud9. I think, now to you, was that like Cloud9 just had like a god-awful draft and 100 Thieves just played out the game? Or do you think 100 Thieves like has gained another power level?
I feel like I don't want to say too early, like, oh my god, 100 Thieves is finally there. But it feels like something clicked in the team this week because they just look more cohesive. And granted, both games you had Afromu on some pretty playmaking supports. Like he was on Thresh against Cloud9, his blitz popped off against FlyQuest. So like, you had that. But on the whole, like the team just looked to be playing better as a whole.
Let's who is the biggest impact? Who is the biggest factor in 100 Thieves games?
Afro.
Sweet. Afro, okay. I think
who are you gonna say?
I think you have the right lane, but I think you missed a little bit because unless I am mistaken, which I'm not, because I'm looking it up. I'm pretty sure Cody's son had the best weekend of his professional life. His combined record was 20-0-8 over 2 games.
Jesus.
Cody popped off. And not only that, but if you look at the team compositions that 100 teams are running, against Cloud9, GP, Skarner, Galio, Varus, Thresh, right? Mm-hmm. And some days Gangplank wasn't exactly a huge carry lord, so much as a threat to prevent Cloud9's double marksman composition from ever walking up and contesting Cody, right? But that is a Cody-focused comp, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's look at their second game against FlyQuest. On Tristana, you have Gnar, Jax, Ryze, and Blitzcrank around him. And now you can argue that it's like the Blitzcrank just creates openings for whoever's there, but like the main team fighting power in that composition comes from Tristana being able to get resets on all these squishy targets, right? Mm-hmm. I think 100 Thieves are starting to play more around Cody than they are Ryu and Someday, which is what I think they tried to do at the beginning of the year and it didn't work out so well.
Yeah,
Cody, I feel like is finally stepping up into his own, and
it seems like he just needed some time.
And it's like last year I was a hater because he was playing it alongside Ole, who was having an MVP for who's an MVP. Like in my mind, he should have been up there in the MVP votes, right? And now he's playing against a veteran. He's playing alongside a veteran like Aframu, who occasionally just ints out of his mind, but like is a playmaker. So he'll look good by comparison when he doesn't int.
Yeah.
And Aframu is the guy who prevents his AD carry from inting by himself inting. But yeah, hats off to Cody. He's fucking popped off in a huge way for 100 Thieves. Coming in late into the season, being able to rely on your bot lane to carry is a hot commodity. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I think here's a flawless transition. Echo Fox has been doing so well despite getting stomped by TSM.
The TSM game was pretty bad.
That was what the fuck happened? Like that draft was so. Okay, first in your mind, is this a game where you look at the draft and you're like Lamau, or was Echo Fox like thoroughly beaten regardless of what the draft looked like?
I think that like they were thoroughly beaten, but the draft was very suspect.
It looks like just 3 winning lanes, and then 2 of the lanes. One of the lanes got camped. One of the lanes didn't know how to play the lane matchup.
Yeah.
But they came back against TL and they clobbered TL.
That was bad. Like that one, I think
22 minutes. I watched that. I watched that one. I went to go at around like 18 minutes. I went to go get myself some food, right? And I'm like cooking an omelet or whatever, and then I'm listening through my wireless headphones. It's like, and Echo Fox takes the win, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
You're like, wait, what?
Burning. Yeah, exactly. It was nuts. I gotta ask though, is that Echo Fox reminding the league that it is the dominant force right now, or was that Liquid starting to show even more cracks? Because Liquid has not been too hot. Sure, they beat FlyQuest, but they're supposed to be FlyQuest. Right now, they're sitting at 7-5. That's not MVP. That's not what happens when you take a bunch of potential MVPs and slap them all in one team.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention they lost to Golden Guardians last week as well. So like you said, they've been kind of slumping pretty well. But I think because it was Echo Fox, I think Echo Fox just put their flaws on display. I think it still was Echo Fox being like, look, okay, yeah, we lost to TSM, but you know what? We can still clap people with the best of them. Back. We can bounce back. We're not going to let this get into our heads. They're still playing like the best team.
And Huni reminded the rest of the leagues, like, hey, I can play whatever the fuck I want, and you can camp me however much you want. I'm still going to be a threat late game, and I'm still going to do it. He got smashed, not smashed, but like he got camped. He was like 0-3-3, and then, but like, the TL didn't actually do anything with its kills. They just killed him a bunch, right? And they like kind of snowballed ahead, but then Adrian and Doublelift got smashed. Doublelift only got fucking obliterated in lane. Which, to be fair, like if you have to if you're in a draft phase against Dardoch, Huni, Dardoch, Phoenix, and then Ultec Adrian, that bottom lane is not your concern when you go through the ban phase. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe it should be. Maybe. Regardless. Let's talk about something else. Too much success. We need to talk about some failure.
CLG.
Damn right, dude. You read my mind. All right. Is CLG the worst team in the league?
Yeah. Because, okay, they've lost 6 games in a row.
Yep.
And
they lost to Golden Guardians this week, pretty handily.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, because it's between them and the Golden who's the team, because they're both 3-9. But Golden Guardians, like we said last week, they can claim some wins over some pretty good teams.
They can punch above their weight on occasion.
Exactly. They're not consistent. They're not. I don't think they're gonna make it into playoffs by any means.
They're not. But this is a long-term league now. We're slowly improving.
Yeah, exactly. But CLG.
So why is that not the case with CLG, Wyatt?
It's because CLG. I think it's just CLG isn't supposed to be this team. Like Golden Guardians is a new franchise. Like you kind of expect there to be a little bit of growing pains, but CLG, they're one of the most storied teams in NALCS history. Like they're not supposed to be struggling
like it.
No, I mean they're not at all. But I think just they have such high expectations as an organization,
right?
That,
and it's not even just compared to history, what we expect from CLG that makes them look bad. They don't know what they're doing.
No, yeah, they
It's
look
the honest to
completely
God
lost.
truth.
Mm-hmm.
They try different things every game, and none of them are. They're throwing everything at the wall and nothing's sticking. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, it's rough to watch. I don't like watching their games.
No, was this the one when you asked me, you're like, "Are you sure I can't say Fiesta?"
Yeah. It was like just who he has played. I think like 11, like 9, like a shit ton of different champions in the mid lane, and like almost none of them work. Darshan isn't getting it done anymore. The bot lane is like the best part about this team, and Rainover is looking kind of not good. And I like Rainover, but like maybe Rainover got carried by Huni for a while. I think at this point, like, I was late on that bandwagon, but like I see it.
They just look bad. Like, I think you retweeted it. Somebody was like posted a bunch of pictures from the CLG subreddit.
The CLG subreddit's going nuts.
Like,
I love it.
They're literally losing their mind. Like, I've seen they want to try and do a buyout to get Aphromu back.
Rush. They want Rush from KT. As if KT. You think Rush is gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go join CLG in NA.
Yeah, seriously.
When I'm in Korea and like I get to play for KT and I basically guarantee a path to playoffs.
Yeah. So like this team just.
I've seen people calling we should get high because that's the problem. Here's the problem with CLG. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a win condition. Nobody on that team can step out and carry right now. They are lost. They are lost children.
Yeah, like
they look like a challenger team. They
Yeah,
look like a challenger team that
snuck
into the big leagues.
Yeah,
and that is going to lead us into some predictions, and then we're going to wrap this shit up. Liquid versus 100 Thieves. Liquid versus 100 Thieves, kicking off the day.
I think 100, like, because 100 Thieves is just, they've looked a lot stronger of late than Liquid has. So Liquid just has a lot of deficiencies these days.
I think I agree. I like that answer. I'm gonna go with Wyatt. TSM versus FlyQuest.
Should be TSM needs to win this game.
Should be TSM. That's what you said. Don't try and hide it. You said should be. I agree with you. Not only in your prediction of TSM, they should be TSM.
Yeah, it should be, but like,
never know.
You know.
Yeah, that shrug.
TSM is it's a tough bet sometimes.
Hard knock life, dude.
Yeah.
Cloud9 will shit on CLG. We're gonna move on. Golden Guardians versus Echo Fox. I give Golden Guardians more of a chance than I do CLG.
I do too, especially because like I mean, like we said, like Golden Guardians have taken some games off of some teams in the last few weeks, so you know, none of them Echo Fox caliber wins, but I still, you know, give them a shot.
What does Golden Guardians do? Like, how do they win games? Right? They have good early pressure from their jungle in contracts, and then they kind of like eke their way out through team fights, kind of in the mid game ish, and then they get objective control and they slowly win a game.
Yeah.
And you look at Echo Fox, and it's like Echo Fox is a strictly better Golden Guardians. Lorlo's only carry champion right now seems to be Gnar, right?
Yeah.
And Huni last week just blind picked, not blind pick Yasuo. Maybe it was blind pick. I can't remember the pick order. But like Huni last week just picked Yasuo, and it's just like you're not gonna fucking stop me.
Yeah.
And like the fear factor.
Who's stopping him at this point? Honestly?
Dardoch. I think Dardoch versus Contracts will be where this matchup is decided, and I think Dardoch will win decisively, and then every other lane for Golden Guardians will simultaneously lose.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
You know, Clutch Gaming versus Optic Gaming. The Battle of the Houstonites.
Should be Clutch.
Yeah, I agree. I think even though Clutch had a kind of rough week last week, beating CLG, losing kind of handily to Cloud9.
I mean, it's Cloud9, so
yeah, no shame there.
Optic is no Cloud9, so
hell yeah. All right, next week or next day, CLG versus Team Liquid. Team Liquid will win this one. I don't want to watch it. Please don't make me watch it.
Are you watching it?
I better not be. Optic Gaming versus Echo Fox. How does Echo Fox win?
I mean, take your pick. Like,
yeah,
they have so many win conditions, and they'll just do whatever they want.
100 Thieves versus TSM. I think is this the most interesting matchup of the NALCS Week 7?
I believe so. This is probably going to be because I mean you look at the next two. Cloud9 is going to stop Golden Guardians. Clutch is going to Clutch will easily get rid of FlyQuest. So I think this is kind of like your marquee matchup of the week, or at least of Sunday. It's a close one because like they both have their upsides. And I think did TSM won the last meeting?
Maybe.
I remember that right?
No, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, TSM won the last one. It was in week 3.
TSM looked good last week. Bjergsen looked good last week.
Yeah, I mean Bjergsen.
First time we've said that in a while, I feel like. But Bjergsen, he played well. He popped off his Galio, which is something I thought he was not capable of. I love Galio, by the way.
Galio is fun to watch. Yeah.
On it, like people who complain, like shut up. I like what would you
Galio
rather watch Wave Clear battle in mid, or would you rather watch Galio like just pop up and pop off? Yeah, he's a fun TF to watch.
Yeah, he is.
Ever since TF like became irrelevant, the passage of time. Papa TF, Grandpa TF.
Grandpa TF.
Hell yeah! All right, that's gonna do it for the Fiesta Watch podcast for the week. Wyatt, do we even have an audio podcast anymore? I checked, and none of our episodes are updating on that.
I don't think so. I think we just do this one, and then we do the live one, and then it's up on YouTube.
Well, I don't know where you can find it on YouTube. I don't have that link on me. Maybe it's somewhere on this page. Who knows?
Probably. It's probably down here somewhere.
Probably down here. But our Twitter links are down here or up there somewhere.
Yep.
So hit us up. We'll talk about anything you like. Obviously, we like League of Legends. We like Overwatch. We like Black Panther. We both recently saw it. It's a really fucking good film.
It is.
Go watch it. Anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
I think check our Twitter if you guys are a fan of Fortnite. We are doing a giveaway for the PvE standard edition of the game. So you just have to follow the account, retweet the tweet that is on our page. And yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a wonderful experience. Hope you guys laughed and learned like we did. Up next, we got Around the Hoot, the unofficial OWL pre-show. So stick around. We're going to be right back. Bang.